All right, so the deadline given to clubs interested in signing Enzo Fernandez has passed by Chelsea, 5 p.m. today, UK time. What it means is that as of now, Enzo Fernandez is not for sale to any club interested in them. Now, the major club that was interested in Enzo Fernandez was Manchester City. Now, given Barcelona's interest in Manchester City's Rodrigo Hernandez Cascante, they needed to replace Rodri with an elite midfielder, Enzo Fernandez. Now, what does it mean for Manchester City, Barcelona, and then Chelsea? This is ASK Morgan Sports, and we will give you all the various analysis, the various dynamics to the issue. But first of all, as the league season begins now, because we have Community Shield, Trophy de Champ in France, and all of that coming up, there's been new rules regarding the rules of the game or the laws of the game. There's been new rules, and I'll quickly walk you through these new rules. So the first one is that they are going to be countdown for goal kicks and then throw in, maximum of 5 seconds. So if there's a throw in, the team has 5 seconds to throw the ball onto the pitch. Else, the throw will be switched for the opposing team. Same as goal kicks. If the goalkeeper gets the ball, you have 5 seconds to kick the ball. Else, it is a corner kick for the opposing team. Yeah. Now, when a player is sapped off, the player has 10 seconds. The player has 10 seconds to leave the pitch. Else, when the player eventually leaves the pitch, the player who's being sapped in cannot come onto the pitch. You have to spend 1 minute, 60 seconds, 60 seconds off the pitch before they are able to come onto the pitch. And so that is the new rule to make sure teams do not delay time. You know, when somebody is being sapped off, the person will be working and wasting the time and all of that. Now, the motivation is that when you watch an average football match, the time the ball spends rolling on the grass is around 60 to 68 minutes. So for the greater part of the game, more than 20 minutes is spent on shenanigans and antics, time being wasted, and it frustrates fans. Now, IFAB and FIFA wants to make the game better. That is why they've brought in these new rules to make the game very nice and then smooth, to also reduce more additional times, because looking at World Cup 2022, there were lots of additional times just to make sure the time wasting or the time being wasted are made up for. FIFA is taking steps to avoid all of these things. Now, the next thing is that what it means is that there are exceptions to this substitution rule. For example, if a player is injured and then he cannot walk very well, limping on one foot and all of that, as for those ones, he can spend more than 10 seconds. However, if it is not that he's very injured, then the team will spend 10 minutes playing 10 against 11. 1 minute playing 10 against 11. Now, the other exception is that if maybe the closest exit, this time the players are supposed to use the closest exit. If the closest exit is not safe for the player, he would have to use an exit that he will spend more time. And so that is it. Now, the third new rule is that injured players must go off. So what we know about injured players is that there are clarifications or classifications. For example, if a player is injured and then the player doesn't call for the attention of medic, that is all. The referee could hold up play, come and check on him. Then he will get back on his feet and then the game will continue. But by then, he would have delayed the game, or he would have probably slowed down the momentum of the opponent's team, of the opposing team, as an advantage to themselves. So therefore, what will happen is that the moment you are on the ground and then you call, and then it calls for the referee's attention, what it means is that you would have to stay off the pitch for 1 minute. Now, previously, if medics come to attend to a player, that is when the player would come off the pitch for 30 seconds. That's the distinction. But now even that one has been increased to 1 minute. So you lie down, the referee comes, he calls the medics to come and take care of you. You would have to go out for 1 minute. Your team will play 10 against 11 without you, just to make sure teams are not well motivated to pull this off. Now, there are exceptions to this one, and the exceptions are: one, if the foul leading to the player's injury leads to a red card or a yellow card. that is one to show that the severity of the issue. Now the other one is that, well, if if there was a tactically bad tackle on the player, then it will be avoided. For example, if I know that, okay, this player, if is worrying our team, then I have to do a bad tackle on him so that he will go off the pitch for 1 minute, and that will give us an advantage in the game. The rule doesn't apply in this instance. The next one is the goalkeeper timeout. You know, goalkeepers have been tactically used by coaches to manage games. For example, if a coach wants to issue additional instruction to his players in the course of the game, what happens usually is that a goalkeeper will intentionally fake injury. A goalkeeper will intentionally fake injury, and out of that injury, the players will rush to the touchline and receive further instructions. What this is going to do is that this is going to make sure that anytime the goalkeeper goes down, one outfield player will be elected by the coach to come and stand outside and wait for 1 minute, because the rule of the game is that the game cannot be played with the goalkeeper injured. So the goalkeeper ought to be treated on the pitch. But as the goalkeeper is being treated, the coach has 10 seconds to elect one player who will be off the pitch for 1 minute until the 1 minute is up. If the coach fails to elect a player within that 10 seconds, what it means is that the captain will leave the pitch and spend 1 minute off the pitch. Now, there's been a lot of controversy surrounding this rule, because this could lead to players genuinely injured but still playing in pain, because now it is going to affect your team. Your team is going to get penalized. So therefore, there are exceptions to this rule. The first exception is that if the goalkeeper was fouled leading to his injury, so there's a foul incident that the goalkeeper is injured and he's lying on the ground, then yes, the rule doesn't apply. An outfield player doesn't need to stand outside for 1 minute. Or maybe the coach, the referee, the goalkeeper has not been fouled in that very instant, but maybe minutes ago he was fouled, or there was an incident and he is bleeding now. Once he's bleeding, every time he's bleeding, we have to stop the play, go and take care of him, and the team doesn't get penalized in that instance. Now the other rules are, goalkeeper, when there's a goal kick, they pass the ball, then sometimes the defender catches the ball, puts it back on the 6-yard box and all of that. The defender could pass to the goalkeeper, he will catch it, set it again, all of those delays. Once the player catches the ball in the 18-yard box, it's a penalty against the team. If it is a goalkeeper, it is an indirect free kick. So starting the goal kick, calling it back, those back and forth, delaying time, all of those things will not be entertained in the coming season again. Take note, so that if it happens to your favorite team, you don't call out the referee and say your team has been cheated. Now, VAR is also going to take on a new task. So if there are two yellow card instances, two yellow card situations that lead to a red card, VAR would review the yellow card to see. All right. So, for example, there's a 2 yellow card. VAR originally reviews red cards, but now as an additional task, if a certain yellow card leads to red card, VAR would review it and see if it is not really a yellow card and overturn the decision and call it off. Now, if there's a mistaken identity, there's a foul and then for team A and then it is being called for team B. What it means is that VAR can come in and then review the decision and then change it. It wasn't originally part of the duties of VAR, but now it has been inculcated into the game for VAR. Now, this is going to be the most controversial one. That when there's a foul, all right, when there's a foul on a player, however, it further leads to a set piece that leads to a goal, penalty, or a red card incident. What it means is that VAR will call it back and call for the initial foul. So VAR could only call back fouls when it results in goals, right? But now, if we are playing a game and then the player is fouled, but then the referee doesn't see, now it further leads to a free kick, and then the team scores from the free kick, it will be called back. Okay? It will be called back. if the team gets a penalty, it will be called back. The foul will be called back. If it further leads to a situation where a player is given a red card or a player is booked, it will be called back. Okay, so these are the new rules that the game has introduced coming into the next season. Now, Chelsea told all of us that as of today, 5 p.m., if nobody sent a bid for Enzo Fernandez, a bid of 120 million with cash ready, Enzo Fernandez is no longer for sale. And they mean it. It is certain. Now in 2020, when Manchester United wanted to sign Jadon Sancho, Borussia Dortmund set August 10th as the deadline for bids from Manchester United. Manchester United delayed when they later on sent an improved bid, and a bid that had increased amount. Dortmund still rejected it. And so it has happened before. But the problem for Chelsea here is that this is a player who doesn't want to play for you, and it makes it difficult for you to keep him. However, he still has a lot of years in his contract, so Chelsea is not worried. They are not perturbed about keeping the player. It is not too difficult to keep him. All you have to do is that they bought him 107 million pounds from SL Benfica in 2023. All you have to do is that give them 120 million and you can have the player. And I agree with Chelsea because the player's value is even more than 120 million in today's market. Because even Elliot Anderson is 113 million. Chelsea sent a bid of 64 million pounds for Alex Scott 3 weeks ago, and it was rejected. Alex Scott, it was rejected. And so for that matter, look, what it means is that if you want Enzo Fernandez now, he is not for sale. And so I think that Chelsea are making sure that nobody would come and worry them, put them in a last minute situation where they would have to look for an elite midfielder, which is going to be very, very difficult, because in this market today and now, how do you find an elite midfielder? Now, as the season is getting close, the transfer window is approaching its deadline. It will even become difficult. Any player you approach now, the team is going to bloat the price and all of that, which will make it difficult for Chelsea and all of that. So Chelsea are just trying to be careful here. And as of now, Enzo Fernandez is not for sale. Now, we all know that Enzo Maresca is really interested in Enzo Fernandez. Out of his 92 matches that he is superintended over in Chelsea, Enzo Fernandez started 79 of them. He even made him deputy captain in the absence of Reece James. What it means is that he has a solid connection with him. After the exit of Enzo Maresca in Chelsea, Enzo Fernandez's issues in Chelsea escalated because of that relationship that was absent between him and Enzo Maresca. I am thinking that Manchester City is being careful, because I think they know that if they buy Enzo Fernandez, they could be spending around 300 million this summer, and they are careful on how that amount is arrived at and all of that. What it means is that they are also looking at their relationship with Chelsea, because they've had a very rough relationship with Chelsea recently. How Enzo Maresca left Chelsea, joining Manchester City, how Manchester City paid 17.2 million pounds to Chelsea as settlement for Enzo Maresca. They do not have a good relationship, so Chelsea will not negotiate. That is for a fact. Chelsea will not negotiate. But how to raise that 120 million without incurring additional cost on their transfer budget is the problem, because they are targeting Ayub Buadi, which is who is in the region of 80 to 100 million pounds. They are trying to bring him in. They've already signed Elliot Anderson, who's 113 million pounds and all of that. And so if they add Enzo Fernandez, they are hovering around 300 million, and they have to contain that. That is why the sale of Rodri comes in. If they don't sell Rodri, then it is emphatic that they don't have to buy Enzo Fernandez. That is why they are in a very tight spot, because Rodri also wants to leave, but they need the money from Barcelona. They cannot give Rodri away if Barcelona cannot raise the money, and Barca at all costs would have to raise that money for them. That 70 million pounds asking price, I am thinking that anything around 68 million pounds will be accepted, and so anything around 68 million is going to be accepted. And so Barcelona, having received 50 million euros from Paris Saint-Germain over the sale of Ferran Torres, now they are well equipped to submit a proper bid, a lucrative bid that Manchester City cannot turn away, because Manchester City also needs to take care of Rodri, clean their hands off Rodri, so that they can begin the season, because they are playing Community Shield tomorrow. Rodri is not part of the squad for tomorrow, and all of that. And if you are a team and then your star player, one of your key players is not available for you in the season, it frustrates you. It makes it difficult for you to run. And so for that matter, it is important that everybody seals this off once and for all. But this three club transfer is a saga we are all interested in, and in the coming days we will see how it is going to end. My bet is that Enzo Fernandez will stay at Chelsea. That is what I think. I do not see Chelsea selling Enzo Fernandez again. But hey, it is a transfer window and anything could happen. This has been an ASK Morgan production, and we came your way with the best of analysis. Kindly like the video, follow us on TikTok, subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Please like the video, and please go to the comment section and tell us what you think about us. Thank you so much.